time now for our daily fact-checking segment, Truth or Fake, with Vedika Bahl. In regards to the coup in Niger, protests in the capital Niamey are ongoing. They're calling for France to remove its troops and military bases from the country. Vedika, you've, however, found a viral video claiming that the Nigerian troops have already forced the French troops and also the United Nations out of the country. So, tell us, is it truth or fake? And also, how did you manage to check this video?
Yes, indeed, Jean-Emile. The withdrawal of French troops from Niger, that's what's being claimed here in this viral Facebook post, alongside a video that has over 2 million views, 51,000 likes, and 17,000 shares there. Now, the caption alongside this video reads, "The situation is serious. The UN and France driven out of Niger by force." And sure enough, if we take a look at this same video, we can indeed see how it may indeed look like that. So in the beginning of this video, we can see a lot of United Nations vehicles. We can see a few bulldozers in the back there. There's a lot of people walking around in uniform. And if we go towards the end, indeed, we can see bulldozers start to steamroll everything in sight, be it the entirety of United Nations cars. We see it destroying swathes and swathes of barbed wire there. But we can also see just pure destruction. And it does indeed give the impression that the UN forces and the French are being forcibly expelled. Now, interestingly, in terms of the audio in this video, we can hear in the beginning what sounds a bit like a question and an answer. You could even say it sounds a little bit like an interview. So let's take another listen there to see what we're listening to. So it sounds a little bit like a presenter asking a question about the departure of French troops. And this is, in fact, what the question and answer is. The person in the beginning says, "Are you calling today for an end of the deployment of French forces in Niger?" And the answer that we can hear there says, "That's exactly what we're asking. We're asking the French authorities to respect the decisions of the new Nigerian authorities, asking France to pack up its soldiers and take them to France or anywhere else. The people of Niger do not need them." So yes, Jean-Emile, it does feel a little bit like a strange audio to have in the background of this video. It does feel a little bit like it was cut from somewhere else and superimposed over the images for effect. Now, I was able to find out where these images came from, and I did that through various different methods. It wasn't easy in the beginning, as this image doesn't really have any identifiable factors in the background there for us to be able to geolocate it well. But the first thing that caught my eye was, in fact, this license plate. Now, it reads UN 701, and I had a little search on Google to see what the kind of results are that we're getting, and the first thing that caught my eye and the first results there in that search is actually an article about Cyprus. We can see in that thumbnail there that the license plate matches the one that we had in our video. Now, when I clicked on this link, it led me to this article from a couple of weeks ago, in fact, talking about clashes between Turkish Cypriot security forces and United Nations peacekeepers in northern Cyprus. So these are the results that we have there from our license plate search. Now, I also decided to do a reverse image search on the image in its entirety of that screenshot we saw there, and these are the results. And again, they all link it back to that incident that took place in northern Cyprus. Now, one of the results in this list that I found was actually from British media, The Telegraph, who put together a video montage talking about this story as well. And of course, at 22 seconds past there, on this exact time code, I was able to find this shot, which does, as we can see, match entirely with our video claiming to be from Niger. So yes, it has been presented out of context, and it is showing clashes in Niger and not forces being forcibly expelled from Niger there.
That's excellent detective work, Vedika. Of course, we've got the verification, the fact-checking of that video, but then, of course, there is the audio as well, which you mentioned. So do we have any clue as to where that came from?
Interestingly enough, Jean-Emile, we do. Now, the audio commentary on the viral video, I did say earlier that it sounded somewhat like an interview, a question and answer, and that's because it was, in fact, an interview. It was an interview that actually took place in the same studios and, in fact, in this very building. It was an extract from an interview conducted by Julien Fanchelu, who is a presenter on our French sister channel here at France 24, between him and a pro-junta activist in Niamey. And again, this interview is publicly available on YouTube, and I was able to find that exact time code in this interview. And if we have a listen to that there, we can indeed hear that it is the exact question and answer that we can hear in our video claiming to be from Niger. So this does prove that it has indeed been cut from somewhere else and superimposed over those images from northern Cyprus to encourage a narrative that Niger's junta is forcibly expelling French and United Nations forces there. And that hasn't actually happened yet. So this just really reiterates the importance of fact-checking and verifying everything that we see at the moment.
Such an importance indeed. Vedika Bahl, thank you so much for drawing our attention to always verify your sources, always verify your facts, corroborate, and get to the truth.